Hello and welcome everybody to episode 17 of the podcast. I'm Michael.
I'm Noé.
And we are the Knights of Entertainment, a podcast covering topical news, deep dives into your favorite and unknown comic books, movies, games, and more weekly. We appreciate you tuning in and hope you enjoy the show. This is what we are covering tonight. We are going to go over Rising of the Shield Hero, episode 1, season 1. But before we do, like, follow, and subscribe to the channel. Check out our promo code on Coffee Brand Coffee, KOE Pod. And if you have any questions or comments, try to get a hold of us, Knights of Entertainment Podcast at gmail.com. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get into this. Alright, we have Season 1, Episode 1 of Rising of the Shield Hero. We have one main character, our protagonist, named Naofumi Iwatani.
Oh, that's a mouthful. Jeez.
Surprisingly, I can pronounce that one.
That was impressive. Yeah, I was like, oh boy, I will not be calling him anything.
For the English voice actor is Billy Kametz. Apparently, unfortunately, he passed away in 2022. Born in 1987. He did the voice of Niccolo from Attack on Titan.
Man, he's not that old. He wasn't that old.
No, 87 to 2022. That's not that old. He did Niccolo from Attack on Titan. He did random voices for Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh.
And he also did, Ari from Vinland Saga. That newer anime.
Viking thing, isn't it?
Yeah. On the Japanese voice actor side, we have Kaito Ishikawa. He also does the voice of Hecarim Termite from Overlord. He's a character in Overlord that's an adventurer that dies when they go into the Tomb of Nazarick.
Well, there you go.
So he lasts for 2 episodes.
That's not bad.
I had to throw that in there because I thought that was funny. He also did the voice of Nero from Devil May Cry, the Japanese version. And Tobio from Haikyuu, which is the anime about volleyball, basically.
Oh, yeah. It's random sports they pick out. Try to make them epic as fuck.
Well, the protagonist for Haikyuu is a short little kid, where he acts like he's tall. And the opening theme to this is Rise by Mad Kid. This group. Alrighty. The first scene we have, we're over the side of an ocean, basically like a seashore style thing, but it's kind of gloomy, so it's not like the bright, sunny vacation spot type places. You have hippogriffs flying over this like somber shoreline by the ocean. Then going to show our main character sitting on a rocky cliff overlooking the ocean. We then have a shot of this yellow ball rolling down this hill towards him. It's like a craggly, rocky hill, basically. And then it hits his foot and stops. The shot then, you get the main character picking it up, and he hands it to this little girl with animal ears and like a god's ray coming down on top of them. And then the scene panning up towards the sky, basically. And then the scene ends. The scene ends, and we're in Naofumi Iwatani's room. And he's just woken up, basically thinking, you're like, what the fuck kind of weird dream was that?
Okay.
Like, it was just basically a dream, the opening credits, or the opening scene, anyway. Naofumi Iwatani, then explains in narration, kind of like in his own head thinking style narration. He explains who he is. He's a college sophomore with a slight otaku, and an otaku is a young person basically who's obsessed with computers or particular aspects of popular culture to the detriment of their social skills. So he's got a slight otaku tendency, but he's not full into, right. And he says that whenever his younger brother started to get into trouble and started to act out of line and all that kind of stuff, apparently he put him back straight at that point. And in doing so, he earned the right to live at home, which included an allowance.
Earned the right to live.
Because apparently his brother was getting into some really stupid shit.
Well, but what do you mean allowed to live at home?
Like he doesn't have to get a part-time job.
And just leave? Or what?
Like he basically watching after his brother was the...
Earned him free rent, I guess?
Yeah, pretty much.
Jeez, that's a strict family household.
and basically, since he gets an allowance, it led him to indulge in his otaku side more since he didn't need to go get a part-time job, so he can go to school and he can do what he wants after that.
Go to school, get some money, play some games.
Pretty much, that's basically what it is. While heading to the library, he also, because he's like walking towards the library at this point, he also states that while he may indulge in being partially a little bit otaku, he is certainly no shut-in. So like he's not one of those kind that's always inside doing nothing. Like he actually goes outside.
Okay.
Kind of like you get that stereotype of like those gamer kids and stuff that just sit inside do nothing
In their basements, as they say.
Right.
Yeah.
He's not one of
How
them.
many goddamn basements do people have?
I know, really. Like I don't know anybody that has a
You know,
basement.
for where we live, in such a dangerous area of the country, we sure don't have any basements.
But there's a reason.
Yeah, because the soil is fucking
Exactly.
horrendous.
Exactly.
It's the worst place to start a city.
And you're not kidding. But like he says, he's not a shut-in. He would go to the library when his money would run out and read light novels and stuff. Like he wasn't the kind where he was getting himself into debt trying to get into games and stuff like that. It's like, I'll go to the library, read a book. How about that? Like, not that big a deal. That is basically, he says in his own mind. He says until he picked up this book. This it called The Records of the Four Cardinal Weapons.
Okay.
It
Big banger title.
and it basically had fallen along with a bunch of other books onto the floor whenever he went to go grab for something. Opening the book, it shows 4 heroes of legend. So you get the sword hero, the bow hero, the spear hero, and the shield hero.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. 3 of the entries in the book, they all have like information about it and stuff. But whenever Naofumi turns to the shield hero, it's blank. There's nothing written in that section whatsoever about it. The book starts glowing, and it teleports him into a room where there's mages standing around, basically, because they've summoned him, basically.
I fucked up his life quick.
Yeah. That claim that the summoning was a success, and can you please help save our country?
I'm like, no, send me home. I'm 17 years old. I can barely wipe my ass.
Naofumi looks down at his wrist because he's got this little shield now attached to him.
So did he pick the shield one, or was it just what they picked for him?
Apparently, it was since that was the thing that was left in the book, the only thing that had nothing written. So he gets the shield.
Oh, so someone else. There's other people that have the. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like Jumanji.
Kinda, yeah. But he looked down at his wrist. Like, he literally was like, "What the hell is this? Like, the fuck?" Then you get the title card for the anime. So like, there's no music or anything. It's just literally the title
That's a
card.
long ass intro.
Yeah.
Hell, like 2.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, you get 2 intros basically for it. This is also one of the few that I've actually seen where the episode 1 is a 40-minute episode.
Damn.
Instead of just a 22-minute
Yeah.
like most of them are. So you as soon as the title card goes away, which it lasts for like maybe 2 or 3 seconds, it's not a very long title card on there, just the name of the show basically.
Yeah.
Then you're back to the current scene that you just left, where it's got the summoners and stuff, and they're asking for help. And you have the bow hero asking what he means by what the fuck do you mean your country needs saving? Because you get the other 4 heroes that were summoned at the same time.
Oh, they're all up together.
They're all standing there together, basically. It's like they're all looking like, the
That was
fuck do
quick,
you mean?
yeah.
And the mages explain that they are the 4 cardinal heroes, summoning them with this ancient magic or whatever, this ancient ritual to get them to come there. And Naofumi says he'll at least hear them out. Like, okay, we're here. Like, explain what's going on. Like, he's enough of a, like, he's an otaku where he wants to enjoy basically this kind of a world, but
This is the shit he's been dreaming of, sort of.
kind of,
sometimes.
yeah. But the other 3 refuse. And
Yeah, they're like normal people. Like, get me the fuck out of here.
they start becoming not just like let me go home, but they start becoming like demanding, where it's like
The manager, let me go home.
yeah. Well, they say the other refuse unless their demands are met.
Oh, yeah, my demand would be let me go home.
Right. While Naofumi contemplates, why would you act this way? Like, why would you start making demands as soon as, like, not demands to go home, just demands of, well, what do we get for it?
Oh, that kind. Okay.
Like, the cocky, arrogant, like, what the fuck is your... He's looking at him like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, literally, you're here for 1 second, and you're already making fucking demands. Like,
Man.
what the fuck is wrong with you people? The mages convince him to go meet the king. But Naofumi remarks to himself how smug the other three are basically being. Like, how the fuck are you three so fucking smug? Like, you can actually kind of like, you can kind of resonate with the way Naofumi's acting because it's kind of the way a normal person would act. Where it's like, you know what? Or I'll put it this way: a normal person that's an otaku,
Yeah.
or a person that likes video games and stuff. It's like, oh, okay, well, I'm here. Let's see what's going on. Like,
save the world.
right. So they climb this staircase basically that's leading out of this, I guess, like lower part of the castle that they were in, where they were summoned at.
Mm-hmm.
And Naofumi, he looks out one of the windows on this tower, and he remarks, "I was like, dude, we're really in another world." Like he's like just shocked by it, basically.
Fucking nervous breakdown.
Yeah. And he's like talking to himself, like even like the air and the breeze feels different because it's a different kind of world, basically. And then you got the sword hero. He's like, no, it just feels Mediterranean, like super like smug kind of about it, like,
Maybe,
bro.
maybe he knows Mediterranean atmosphere.
Well, then you get Naofumi, where he's like, yeah, just I didn't know the word, sure. like he tries to play it off a little bit, but he's looking at him like, dude, really? Like I was just commenting that it's a little different.
I guess if I lived in like a desert, right?
Yeah.
And then one day I go to like the rainforest, I'd be like, God dang.
Yeah.
Sure feels different as fuck.
And I think the biggest thing too is like, since they're all four from Japan, like
Some of them would be. Well, I don't know. I don't know Japan's like topography.
I mean, it's
like
it's
city.
got range.
Like a city mostly.
I mean, you get the mountains. You
Fucking
got
Tokyo's like half of the island.
I know it really is. At least that one specific island. Yeah.
Jesus.
So basically, then they get to the main throne room where the king is. The king introduces himself, and he welcomes him to the land of Melromark. That's the name of the
Mark.
That's the name of the country that they're in. Asking them to introduce themselves, since he's already introduced himself. I didn't write down his name, but he introduced himself as who he is and stuff like that. You get the sword hero, the one that's kind of one of the assholes, named Rin Amaki. He's a 16-year-old high schooler. Then the bow hero introduces himself, and his name is Itsuki Kawasumi. He's 17, high school. The spear hero named Matoyasu Kitamura, and he's 21, college student. And then you have Naofumi, which would be the next one, and he's 20.
Man, they love them young, don't they, in Japan? What do they do when they hit 30? They just like they just stop living?
Well, in the anime, they're all called old men. So,
Jesus.
but you get to Moriyasu, the spear hero, and as soon as Naofumi goes to say, it's like, I guess I'm next, to introduce himself, but he's interrupted by the king. And he continues talking only to the other three, basically ignoring Naofumi completely.
Well, damn.
After Naofumi's like, yo, king, aren't you forgetting somebody? Like, he literally says, yo, king. And the king's like, go ahead. And he's allowed to say who he is, which he takes pride. Just like, they got to say who the fuck they were. I don't get to say who I am. After again, the king, he starts ignoring him again. As soon as like he's finishing talking, he just cuts him off and just starts talking again. They are then told about the prophecy. Basically, there's this thing called waves. It's basically a dimensional rift where monsters come through this dimensional rift from another world and start attacking people. And they attack the land, and it's predicted by this thing called a dragon hourglass. It's this gigantic hourglass that just counts down the time between the next wave, basically.
Oh.
And it gets faster and faster and faster each time. So the first, basically, the kingdom was able to withstand the first wave, and the first wave came before these heroes were summoned, to where it basically took this huge toll on them. It was like days before.
That recent?
Yeah. And so it's like, dude, we fucking lost all these people. We have to summon these heroes. We
Yeah.
can't do it ourselves.
Gotta fortify the walls or something.
It's like just raising shit to the ground at this point whenever they come through those monsters.
That's wild.
So basically, they learn they can also pull up this thing called status magic. So it's like a little status menu, basically, like in a video game. So you get the little status menu, and you can see your level and your abilities, what level you are, and stuff, and all like anything you would basically in a video game. And they see that they're all still level 1.
Oh, good. That'd be perfect. Like you have mauled to death.
Now Fami excitedly says that they can form a party and level up together. You know, like he's trying to be the optimist, basically.
Yeah.
At which point the Chancellor to the King, basically the kind of corrupt person in the kingdom, he's like, oh yeah, I forgot to mention that you have to develop separately and recruit your own teams, otherwise your weapons won't develop on their own, is what we're told in the legends. So they can't be around. And then now for me, he's looking at the like thing on his little screen thing, pull up piece. He's like, well, he's not lying. It does say that if they're around, they're less effective.
Should have just set them separately then.
Right, you would think. That would make more sense. So then the king tells him, it's like, you know what? It's late. Just stay overnight and we'll gather the most skilled warriors for the heroes. So in the prepared quarters that they already have, the four are talking, and Alphamir remarks that he feels like a video game. You know, like, are we in a video game or something? It just feels weird. And the spear hero, he's like, yeah, because it's exactly like Emerald Online. Like, they already have a video game like that where he was talking about that. And it's basically like one of those kind of dive games like Sword Art Online or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's what he's talking about. And the bow hero, he's like, no, it's kind of like that new console game that I got, Dimension Web.
Dimension Web.
Right. And then the sword hero, he's like, you're both wrong. It's like the VR MMO called Brave Star Online. So now they all have different games that they think it's like.
Right.
Same story, same kind of like land and stuff like that. So
I think it's got a book.
right. A light novel. It's kind of like, okay, this don't make no sense. So they eventually figure out that they're all from different realities of Japan. They're not from the same exact Japan.
That's wild.
So they all have slightly different histories and stuff like that. And now for me is wondering why he's the only one that has never heard of a place like this before. With the other three saying, well, it's probably because you're the shield hero. Which kind of confuses him. He's like, the fuck do you mean because I'm shield hero? And they say, oh, the shield hero is a loser class nobody ever played as in the games. So it's like, oh, you ain't gonna get no information.
Damn.
Like, just being pure, like, smug assholes for the most part, but not, like, evil towards him, just, like, know-it-alls for the most part.
Yeah.
At first, disappointed by this realization. He's then optimistic about finding people to fight with, maybe even find a girlfriend. You never know. Like, he's being kind of like that nerdy kid, or it's like, maybe. Can I find a girl?
You have to play some titties or something.
It's like, you never know, maybe. The next morning, the four heroes, they join all the gathered warriors and adventurers and stuff like that in the throne room. And they then line up behind the hero that they want to go with. So all the warriors and stuff get to choose whoever they want to go with.
Oh boy, here we go.
Now for me having no one.
Yeah, figure something.
Yeah, and he finds it extremely unfair since he has no weapon and only a shield. So what the fuck am I supposed to do?
Hey man, Captain America's got a shield. He does okay.
Yeah, but he can't throw his.
Well, you better start hitting him with you then.
Just shield bashing.
Yeah, what else are you gonna do?
Play Morrowind or something. Just start shield bashing as much as you can.
Start using them hands.
So he's throwing kind of like this ruckus. Basically, it's like really, give me one of yours. Like you can share two, can't you? Like you got like 15 people behind you.
Damn, they're all fucking set.
Pretty much, yeah. From behind the spear hero, this red-haired girl raises her hand and she volunteers. And now for me, he's like, oh, she's at least pretty. And she volunteers to change parties if it's okay with the spear hero. And spear hero, he's like, okay, if you really want to go, you can. And then the king, he states that the shield hero, basically, he's going to have to recruit any additional people by himself. Like, we're not going to switch people.
Some random townspeople outside.
Right. He gives Naofumi 800 silver, and he gives the other the other three 600 silver each. So he gets basically an increase of 200 silver.
Hey, you got some extra money.
Right, and so that way he can recruit if he wants to. The heroes then leave the throne room and stuff like that, and they start splitting up. And the red-haired girl gives her name as Myne, Myne, and she says it's an honor to fight with him. Like, she's being super friendly, super nice, and stuff like that. He comments to himself how friendly she is, obviously, and says you know what? I've actually got somebody in my party. I've got to do everything I can to make sure she does not get hurt. Since he's only got one person with him, basically, it's like,
ow, shit! I hit my controller. I mean my mic. Trying to fix my glasses.
So she offers to take him to show him the shops and stuff in the city and show him around the city at this point. And that way they can procure everything they're going to use and stuff like that if they start traveling. In the weapon shop that she shows him, the owner says she kind of looks familiar, and he comments how he must be the shield hero. Like he's smart enough to figure it out on his own without being told. Saying, it's good to meet you and stuff like that. Naofumi tries to pick up a sword, and he's shocked automatically. So he can't hold any other weapons.
Well, I told you, these hands.
Exactly.
They're giving out these hands.
And he gets this warning pop up, on his intel screen, basically saying he can't use any other weapons but the shield. And the dude that is in this armory, he's like, well, I can at least sell you armor. I can't sell you a weapon, but I can at least sell you armor.
Let's hope so.
That's something. We got this fucking little baby shield on,
fucking armor flies off of him too, or something.
So then the two of them, Myne and Naofumi, they basically head off to this meadow field to train, and there's these orange-shaped creatures that are called orange balloons. Is the name of them.
So random. Okay.
They kind of look like
those little pumpkins.
Yeah. They're little oranges.
Look like fucking tangerines or oranges trying to rip his titties off.
Yeah.
That's a badass shield, though. It's like Green Lantern.
Yeah, where it glows.
Yeah.
Yep. But he starts fighting basically a bunch of those in a field because they're the lowest of lowest level creatures. That would probably hurt a normal person, but since he's got resistances and stuff like that, being the shield hero,
yeah,
it's not going to hurt him any. And he basically, whenever they die, they leave an orange peel almost. And he's able to feed them to the shield, and the shield starts absorbing them into it. They then head back to the weapon store again to buy some more items, but this time for Myne, with Naofumi bargaining with the owner as she starts looking around. He's already doing that kind of joking bargaining type thing. So he's like, you know what? I know it's going to be expensive, so I'm going to start bargaining with you now. He's like, okay, I want 60% off.
God
and then the owner, 60% off, it's another 20% now. He just starts adding every time Naofumi wants something taken off. So the price just keeps fluctuating back and forth the entire time she's looking around. And after seeing how much she actually has got, he's counting it up, and she's he's thinking to himself, it's only going to leave us 200 left if we finish getting all this. And he asks her, can you downgrade a little? You bought a lot of expensive shit here. And basically she flirts with him enough to buy everything that she wanted. Just a little bit of flirting.
God dang simp.
Kinda, yeah. He's like, well, okay, I'll buy it.
I'm not made of money.
They're basically then at this pub inn, the stereotypical inn with the pub at the bottom of it.
Yeah,
in fantasy.
Good old taverns.
Yeah. They're eating dinner and talking about the next day and where they'll be going, looking at a map. Okay, we were here today. We're going to be going to this town that's a little bit farther off of the map tomorrow or whatever. And she tries to talk him into drinking some wine with her and stuff. And he's like, no, I don't really like the stuff. he don't want any of it. Which surprises her. And she's like, that's actually quite surprising. Because in Melremark, it's a matriarchy. It's not normal for a dude to refuse a drink, whenever it's being offered by a woman.
Oh,
you normally in the U.S. it's the opposite way around. Usually a woman's accepting a drink from a dude, not.
At this point in time, I doubt they will. You're laced with whatever some guy decided to put in there.
And he's like, I didn't mean to offend you or anything. I don't like wine. I don't like alcohol. And it's like she's kind of shocked, but it's like, okay, whatever. It's like, I'm gonna hate drinking alone, but
You'll get used to it.
right. So after thinking about how good of a day it went and stuff like that, while he's sitting up in his room, and he's stashing a little bit of money on the inside of a shield. And he's even remarking to himself, I feel like a damn Japanese tourist hiding money away and stuff at this point.
Jesus. I didn't know Japanese tourists did.
I didn't either, but apparently it's a trope in Japan. But as you can see on his arm, he's like stuffing it behind there on the inside of the shield. So he puts some silver back there. And he basically heads off to bed. Like he lays down, gets ready to go to sleep. And he wakes up the next morning to find all the silver, all his new armor, all his clothes.
Yeah, here we go.
Everything jacked.
Except the shield?
Because nobody can take
Yeah,
it.
continue.
I mean, he still has the clothes he's wearing, but...
that would be funny if he was butt-ass naked. So they took everything. They took my cock ring, too.
Because he sleeps with it, it's okay. But no, like the silver, the new armor that they bought, and then the clothes that he had from Earth. Basically, his clothes that he was summoned in are all gone. He then runs to Mine's room, and she's like sort of banging on the door. He's like, Mine, we've been robbed. Like, fuck. Like, you don't know what to do. And then you get this group of guards comes up the staircase, and they come into the hallway with him. And the leader, he's like, the king has issued a summons for you, and you must go with them at once, which is confusing as fuck to him. He's like, just been fucking robbed. Like, the fuck do you mean now? The king wants me. So they bring him to the throne room, and they encircle him with trident-wielding guards. So spears that are basically
forks.
Yeah. So they
just a random choice of why I said it. Like tridents, what the fuck?
I mean, I was gonna say spear.
Like Aquaman's live there.
I was gonna say spear.
Okay.
But they have 3 points, so
I'm fucking. That's a random. I don't know. It's a random weapon for land.
And at this point, Mine is hiding behind the spear hero. So he tells the king that, like, dude, all my stuff has been stolen. Mine, are you okay? Like, trying to figure it out. And then the king tells him, it's like, silence, you filth.
You fucking whore. Shut your mouth. I'm like, oh shit, what did I do?
And see, okay, this is where it turns to a little bit darker side.
Oh no, it's turning lighthearted at first.
This
ain't Goblin Slayer, is it?
Not graphically that bad, but...
Jesus.
So, basically, Mine accuses Naofumi of coming into her room, stinking drunk, and tearing all her clothes off, and saying to her, the night is still young.
Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
And, raping her.
I want a toxicology test. I didn't drink a damn thing.
Yeah. And then she says that she ran to the spear hero's room for help. And Naofumi, he looks at the spear hero and realizes at this point, the dude's got the armor that was stolen.
Oh, it was all his plan?
No, apparently later on in the series you learn it. No, it wasn't. She gave it to him. And he was dumb, basically. Like, he didn't understand.
Dumb son of a bitch.
Because he says it's like it was given to him by Mine the night before. Like, before everything had happened. So the king says if he wasn't a cardinal hero, he'd basically be executed.
Well,
at this point. So you have Naofumi, which he's like, he demands them to prove. Like, would you fucking have proof? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
I got receipts. Where's my receipts at?
He was just now the optimist, and now he's fucking pissed. Or he's like, and just like this dark, like, realization, basically. And there's a guard that walks up carrying a nightgown. He's like, we found this in his bed.
Damn.
Yeah. So the other 3 heroes basically are saying, you're so fucking awful. Like, dude, really? You can't just do whatever the fuck you want just because you're here now.
They should have turned their fucking tone.
Which they'd already been. Like,
they've been assholes this whole time.
Right. And now they're looking at him like, you disgusting...
Well, then again, being an asshole and being a rapist are 2 highly separate things.
Right. And they say they shouldn't have even wasted their time worried about if Naofumi was going to be okay. the day before.
Right.
So now for me, he notices a slight smirk on Mind's face at this point.
Dirty bitch.
And he basically has reality crashing down on him.
Mm.
It like, dude, I trusted you. Like, he was just the day before, he was happy.
Right.
He was optimistic. And now it's like, this is fucking evil. And it's like that. He basically, he was just like a mark. And it was a plan, basically, thing from the beginning.
Beginning, yeah.
Right. And the other is saying no mercy should be given to him. The other heroes. It's like, you shouldn't have no fucking mercy for him. Now, for me, also realizes that nobody likes the shield hero since they think he's weak. Basically, like he's worthless. Can't fight nobody. Like, what are you gonna do with your shield? He then says, "Just send me back home. Like, fuck it. I don't need to be here." Like, he's basically the one that's like, let's hear him out to begin with, and now it's like, you know what? Just fuck it. Just send me home.
Man, might as well. Jesus Christ.
I mean, if you're gonna accuse me of fucking rape at this point, just send me back home.
Or to jail, I guess.
Right. And he tells him, summon a new hero, and then they say, yeah, but we can't.
Well, fuck.
Apparently they can't summon any new heroes unless all of them die. So they all have to literally die before that can happen.
All four? Jeez, what if one of them's just so OP?
Yeah.
Like that one guy from Elden Ring, Let Me Solo Her, who's like beaten. Like it's a long story. I'll get into it later.
So the king says that he will not lock him away, because now for me he's like, what are you gonna fucking do? Let me rot in a jail cell or something now? Like, he's like, no, we're not gonna do that. But you'll never live a good life in this kingdom with everybody looking down on you, thinking you're basically a rapist at this point. And the king says, knowing the deeds you've done, basically.
Well, I mean, if it was true, it'd be justifiable.
Right. Now for me, he takes the last silver out of his shield and he's like, he throws it at him. And he's like,
she has some more left?
Yeah. Because again, being the Japanese tourist.
I thought she took it all.
Not out of the shield.
Damn.
She took the bag of everything else that was in the entire room, but she didn't know he had it hidden in the shield. And he's like, he says, shove it up their asses. He's tired of it. He's like, fuck you. You took everything else from me. Here's your fucking little pittance of a few silver pieces left. So he then leaves the castle. He leaves with no money, no respect, and no trust that he had left for anybody.
At least he has some clothes.
Basically the things that he fell asleep in.
Yeah.
Like, hardly nothing, basically.
And that shield.
The merchant from the weapons store that they were at yesterday, he basically drags him down an alley. He's like, I should fucking kill you right now. Because he'd already heard about what had happened.
Jesus.
And you got an alpha me. He's like, do it. I ain't got nothing else to lose. Do it. So he don't. He doesn't do anything to him. He's like, because he kind of looks at him like, I don't really think he did anything. Like, because just by the attitude that an alpha me had, it's like, bro, I ain't got nothing else to lose. Like, everybody's already fucking lied about me. Go ahead and do it. So he lets him go, and he gives him a cloak. He's like, yeah, they're going to know who you are, so here, take this cloak. Naofumi then goes back to the place where all those orange monsters basically were in the meadow, and he just starts fighting them fucking all night long. Just
time for that grind.
Pretty much, yeah. And he finally reaches level 2 at the end of the night.
Okay.
After grinding all night long.
Well, maybe not okay. Like, what, 12 hours in a night? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. He then goes back to the town to sell the monster's remains, the like pills or whatever, because he's not giving them to the shield anymore because it's not doing anything at this point.
Oh,
like it's not having any more effect.
Yeah, that happens, I guess, sometimes in games.
Like, I think he's probably collected enough points for that one specific item that it can't do anything else for it at this point. He overhears the merchant offering this other guy 1 copper for every 2. Okay. So when Naofumi gets up there, he's like, I got 20 here. He's like, okay, I can give you 1 copper for all of them.
Like, damn, 1 copper for every all of them?
It's like, bro, I just heard you tell him you're going to give him 1 copper for every 2, so, like, that's at least 10 for me.
10 copper pieces.
So he opens up his cloak, and it looks exactly like that picture right there where he's got all those, like, orange monsters attached to him, because they're just biting the shit out of him, because it doesn't cause him any pain, so he's like, oh, really? Really? He grabs the dude's head and shoves it inside the cloak, the merchant's, where they just start snipping at that merchant, basically leaving bite marks all over him and stuff like that. And he's like, you gonna reconsider? He's like, yeah, reconsider. He gives them the coppers, and like, maybe next time I'll give you a deal. He's like, he tells him to spread the word between all the other merchants. It's like, unless they want bite marks all over them. And of course, the people that live in this town are kind of like super weak, I guess. So like they're not used to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Naofumi then goes back out to the forest area, and he finds that he can unlock new shields, basically.
Okay.
So like the one after feeding all that stuff to the shield with the orange balloon monsters, it says orange shield. And then he can get this other one after giving it a bunch of these like herbs and stuff. He gets the leaf shield, so it becomes like where it's a leaf shape. If he turns it, he can turn it into this leaf shape at any time he wants to. And it each shield has their own
strengths and weaknesses,
strengths and properties and stuff like that. So like whenever he says like leaf shield, and he gets his leaf shield, it makes it so that way any herbs that he picks, he's picking the best quality. So like he gets a benefit for it. He goes to this alchemist and he starts selling all that stuff to him and stuff like that. So that way he gets high dollar basically for. He's like, where did you find all this? And he's like, oh, just in the forest. Because it's odd to find that high of quality stuff within that forest apparently. He then goes to the bar after dealing with the alchemist, and he has a little bit of copper at this point to spend. He goes back to this bar, and there's these guys. It's like, we'll join you, you know, like trying to, basically, you know that they're going to try to rob him later on.
Damn, already?
Pretty much, yeah. But he's like, no, okay, yeah, you can join me, buy your own equipment and shit. I'm not. He's like, you get paid on a basis of how good you'll do.
Right.
Because he's like already disillusioned with everything at this point. Like the ultimate reverse 180 of being the optimist to like fuck everyone.
Jeez, it went from that fucking hero to the villain arc.
Kinda, yeah. It was like automatic too. So basically, once he gets outside, he's like, you know, if you buy your own shit, come up to me after that. It's like, well, just give us your money. We just want your money.
Okay, that's just cut to the chase at least.
Yeah. And he fucks all three of them up, like, without even trying. Like, level 1 or level 2 at this point, like, it shows you how weak these people really are compared to the actual heroes. And he fucks them completely up. After that, they all run crying, basically, because he threw those orange monsters at their faces and shit. Just, like, kind of a comedic.
Does he have them, like, in his fucking pocket? Are they still alive?
They're biting on him.
Oh, what?
They're biting on him at all times, but it causes him no damage, so.
He doesn't care.
No. Like at all. They're just under his cloak.
Just fucking ticks and shit all over him. He's like, whatever. And
what's funny is that whenever they fall out, they come right back up to bite him again. They love to bite him, apparently. You get this guy with a top hat. He comes out of the shadows of that same alley, and he's like, you know, I can offer you exactly what you need now for me. Because he knows he's a shield hero. So now for me, he's like, whatever. He follows the dude. It's like, he's not worried at this point. It turns out the dude is a slave trader with a bunch of monsters and humanoids to sell. Naofumi asks why the man would think that, like, why the fuck do you think I'd want a slave?
Yeah.
Like, of all things, like, really, dude? And the dude selling the slaves, he answers, well, because they can't lie or betray you.
Like, oh, interesting thing.
That's interesting. You kind of think about it, it's like, yeah, that is kind of true. Because they have slave crest on them, so they can't disobey you.
That's still not good, though. They're slaves.
It's not good, no. But like his thought process, I kind of get it. So while looking around, the man explains that Melromark is a human supremacy country, and everything else is nothing but beast.
Jesus.
So because now from he's trying to figure out like why the fuck are you able to sell slaves here? Like, don't make no sense. And that's the reason. He then walks up to this one cage with a malnourished beast girl that's coughing uncontrollably. It's the same girl that's at the beginning of the episode.
Oh,
the one that he hands the ball back to. Yep, and that's where the episode ends.
Oh, look like a little plot twist.
Yeah,
like he found her.
Spoilers on all of it, but eventually, the episodes continue. He's still with this girl later on, but her name is Raftalia. She's a beast character, like humanoid beast or whatever.
Yeah.
But whenever she reaches a higher level, she grows in age. So she's not a little girl at this point. She's basically a full-grown adult.
Sounds gross. I can already tell.
Yeah.
So you ain't no little girl anymore. It's only been 2 days though.
Well, no, like there's that like kind of love interest type thing in the series, but it's not like a harem type show. Like you can tell that they tried to give a little bit of that, and then you kind of backed off of it on the actual later episodes and stuff like that. But you get that dark twist just in the first episode of super protagonists, what you would expect of a typical like isekai, like trapped in another world type anime.
Now he's an anti-hero.
He really is.
Fuck the world.
Yeah. And the entire time, he's basically, you know what? I'll fucking defeat these monsters, but fuck all y'all. Like he doesn't care for any of the other heroes or anything. And the funny part is he gets stronger than all of them, obviously.
Yeah.
And it turns out his shield can do a lot more than what you would expect.
Well, yeah, that's
So,
what
like-
I always do.
Well, like he can do this thing called air shield, where it creates a platform or like a floating shield in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever he has the people that eventually become part of his group, where they can like jump off of him and shit to get higher into the air and stuff, and you get like different kind of like full like globe shields around them and stuff like that, where it's not just the itty bitty little shield anymore. But you get compared to a lot of other anime, it's a lot darker. Than some of them.
Really got dark toward the middle of it.
When you bring in the accusation of rape,
We're at a whole nother level.
and she does get what's coming to her later on.
Rape?
No. That's not what you have to-
That's not as bad. Well, yeah, you accused him of rape, so.
Well, it also turns out that that girl, the red-haired girl, Mine, she's the king's daughter.
That dirty bitch.
Yeah, but he has another daughter as well. So the other daughter becomes actual friends with Naofumi,
I wouldn't trust
Later
her either.
but because she's like the polar opposite of Mine.
That's what you think until you met mine.
Mine is a fire-based spellcaster, and Malty is the other daughter, and she's a water-based spellcaster. Complete opposites, and they hate each other.
Mhm.
The best part, though, is that towards the end of season 1, it all comes to light how it was a lie, because the queen comes back from another country. Like she was visiting another country at the time, but she eventually comes back to the country, and since she's the true ruler of the country and
Oh,
not
yeah,
the
because the
king,
matriarch.
exactly, she puts the king in his place and she banishes him from the country
Yeah.
completely.
Baby, wait. You know what I do this? Babe.
And she allows Naofumi to choose whatever punishment for Mine that he wanted, and her name is Bitch from that point on.
Damn. How'd they uncover the lie?
It was
It's a lot hard to do. Like he said, she said, you know.
they put a slave crest on Mine, and since you can't, and it was under the queen, so she put the slave crest on her to where everything that she asked her had to be answered truthfully.
The whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help you God.
And every time she lied, she got electrocuted.
Oh, okay.
So
So there was an actual,
there was punishment.
like a legit lie detector
Yes,
that could be irrefutable, I should say.
yes.
Okay.
So he does get his just desserts at the very end of season 1, and basically the kingdom relies on him and he gets his own land too at the end of season 1.
I don't know. It's just so those are so weird to me because the character just immediately starts living this world, right?
Mhm.
I'd be worried about my family and coming home.
Yeah.
Like, but they never ever talk about this stuff in these games or movie or shows.
The one way that a lot of them get around it though is either that they're single
Well, they're
and they have no family,
fucking dead or something.
or they die. Yes.
Jesus.
Yep. But that was season 1, episode 1 of Rising of the Shield Hero, and like I said, it's a 40-minute episode rather than the normal 22 or 20-minute episode that most of them are. So you do get a lot of information, and
And it fucking turns real quick.
yeah, it does.
Jesus.
There's a couple of other anime that went with that same kind of a trope because it's
Where it
becoming a
starts
trope.
super sunny.
Right. There's another one, Ari Fureta, which is from World's Weakest to World's Strongest or something like that is the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he becomes kind of like the same kind of character. But they did better, I think, with the Naofumi character, where he actually had a personality to it and stuff beforehand.
You know what's a show that's good that I haven't watched yet? Like I have two favorite anime of all time. It's One Piece and Case Closed, or I guess they call it Detective Conan in Japan.
Yeah.
But here it's Case Closed, and I've started recently collecting those manga to just to see the differences between One Piece and the anime and the manga.
Yeah.
But One Punch Man has been a little bit of interest for me.
Mm-hmm.
I want to check it out.
They got 3 seasons.
I think it's 3, yeah.
Yeah, 3 seasons.
Just the one guy with that. He's just got that one fucking hand.
He doesn't even try.
That's all he fucking needs. It's something about that premise is so nice to me.
Yeah, I think most people now, after these episodes, have figured out which one that I like. Overlord,
Yeah.
Blue Exorcist, and then
I'm just an enigma. You don't know what I like. Except for dirty stuff, I guess you know that much.
just anything dirty, yeah.
Yeah, basically.
And then, of course, Bleach, one of the original big 3.
Oh yeah, Bleach. So I think all of them have new episodes recently.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Even Naruto is going to have new
The
episodes.
big 3.
Yeah, and they're trying to make Demon Slayer one of the big 3. Demon Slayer.
Well, like Demon Slayer, My Hero Academia, and Boruto, probably.
Oh God, Boruto. That is one of the worst shows I have ever seen in my life. And the thing is that most people don't even look at it as canon. It's like,
Really?
whatever.
Damn.
Like it is, obviously.
Yeah.
But most people, it's like, we don't want to deal with this bullshit.
Well, that's life. Sometimes you don't get the good shows anymore. That's why you should always stop something at the right moment.
Yeah.
Don't just keep going,
I agree.
or it'll turn into absolute trash.
Yes, it really will. There's been a few anime where it's like, you could have had a season 2.
Like Dragon Ball GT.
They quit that, and thank God they quit it.
They uncanonized it.
I know. Like,
Thank God.
I'm just saying they didn't give it another season.
Yeah.
They could have.
Man,
It's like, we'll cut that off. That's an alternate universe, so it's an alternate reality.
I could have sworn the Frieza saga was going to be the last saga. No,
Yeah.
or no, not the Frieza. The Boo was going to be his last one. But then for some reason he went on to the Cell saga. Or was the Cell saga?
So it was before Boo.
Cell was before Boo?
They were going to end.
I can't remember a damn thing.
Well, after the Cell saga, they were going to end Goku and
Yeah.
have it be Gohan.
Gohan, yeah.
For
Fucking Super Saiyan 2 punching Cell so hard in the stomach he fucking vomits out an android.
And then you got a dad that's such an asshole. It's like, here's Cell, here's a Sensu bean.
Did he?
Yeah, give him one. So he can
What the
recover.
Fuck.
He's like, my son's gonna fuck you up now.
So let me put you at full strength and you take that full ass whooping.
Yeah,
No excuses, yo.
yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Goddamn.
It's like, dude, you got him already fucked up. Just like, go on, kill him.
Yeah, like that's another thing I never understood about Dragon Ball. Like I understand people love it, right?
Yeah,
But watching, you have a whole fucking group watching you get your ass beat by one guy.
yeah.
Why don't you all just fucking jump in and help me out? I bet you if all the Z fighters had jumped Cell, they would have had a chance.
Well, Krillin would have still got his ass beat.
Hey
but-
man, they would have. All of them would have still had a chance. They should do a Krillin spinoff where it's not like that level of a villain, right?
Mhm.
But at his level, where he was a cop in one of the recent movies.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he?
Yeah, so just like have him fall and have him fight some like equal level. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
that would be cool. Like give him like some Captain America level powers,
It's something not crazy,
right? But like something believable to his level
yeah.
that he does within like his police job.
Mhm.
You can tell because I'm sure that I like Krillin. So there you go.
If you're killing it, you're killing it, right?
Hey man, Android 18. That's all he needs. All right, I guess that's that.
But if you guys have any comments, questions, Nights of Entertainment Podcast at gmail.com, and we will see you guys next time.
Adios.